Okay. A football is kicked with an initial velocity of 90 feet per second from a height of 6 feet. Then I have all this different information I need to find. I'm going to be doing the work on this paper right here. So, part A, find the maximum height of the football. Maximum, all I do is draw a centered parabola, mark the maximum, and there's an x and a y. I'm not done until I find the x and the y. The formula to find the x is the opposite of b divided by 2 times a. And then to find the y, we're going to replace x in the equation. Okay, so this is gravity, so negative 16x to the second power plus my feet per second is 90, so 90x, plus my starting height was 6 feet, so 6 equals y. Okay, so I have my A and I have my B. So the opposite of B would be negative 90. And in the denominator we got 2 times whatever A is, which is negative 16, and that's a negative 32 product. Then I divide negative 90 by negative 32. Okay, so 2.81. That's the seconds it took. Okay. Now to find the y, we replace x in the equation, so we're just going to replace these x's with 2.81. Second power on that one, 90, 2.81 plus 6 equals y. Okay, so negative 16 times 2.81 to the second power plus 90 times 2.81 plus 6. I get 132 I'm going to say it's 133 approximately. That's what I write here. It's 133 feet. Okay, next. Part B, find the ball's height after 2 seconds. So I turn the page over. And if I'm not finding the maximum, I'm going to want to probably diagram the problem. Okay. So my units are feet and seconds. And the x variable is applied to the seconds, the y variable is applied to feet, and then per, and then feet per second is 90 feet per second, still 90. Now you can write the equation then. So negative 16x to the second power plus 90x plus my starting height, which was 6 feet, 6 equals y. Okay, now this is a parabola. Now what we need to mark is somewhere on this parabola, it doesn't matter where, okay? It doesn't matter where, 2 seconds. You can put it over there, I don't care, it doesn't really matter where it goes. So I need to put 2 seconds into this equation. Now pay attention here. What variable is seconds? It's x. So 2 seconds goes in for the x's. So I need to remove both the x's from this equation and replace them with 2. So negative 16x squared, negative 16, parentheses 2 to the second power, plus 90, parentheses 2, plus 6 equals y. Now, y is easy to solve for. It's only got one answer, and the y is by itself, so I can just punch that expression into my calculator. So negative 16 times 2 to the second power plus 90 times 2 plus 6, and I got 122. Okay, so it says find the ball's height after 2 seconds. It's 122 feet. Okay, letter C. Find the time it takes the ball to reach a height of 10 feet. So same thing. So feet and seconds are my 2 units. X is seconds, y is feet. then per feet per second. Now the feet per second does not change. It's still up here. It's 90 feet per second. Okay, and that's going to be a parabola. Now let's write the equation for it. So negative 16 x to the second power plus 90x plus 6 equals y. Now on this parabola, somewhere write 10 feet. Write 10 and its label. So that 10 feet needs to go somewhere in the equation for the appropriate variable. Now it's 10 feet. Which variable represents feet? Well, it ain't x, it's y. Okay? So we need to replace the y this time. Negative 16x squared plus 90x plus 6 equals 10. Okay, now you have to solve for x. Now, x has two answers because it's to the second power, and we have x squared along with regular x. So we're going to have to set up our boxes kind of here. First, we need to clear one side of the equation, so I subtract 10, and then we subtract 10 from 6. So it's negative 16x squared plus 90x. 6 minus 10 is negative 4 equals 0. So there's three terms, so that would be the GCF. And then my T table. So the GCF, you have a negative in front. You don't have X on everything, okay? Then I go to my GCF calculator with those numbers. You can easily get to that on your computer or phone. Just Google search it. Okay, so my numbers are 16, 90, and 4. The GCF is 2, so negative 2 has to be factored out. So we factor out negative 2 and divide everything by negative 2. So not only are you dividing by 2, the signs will change. So that goes to positive 8x to the second power. Goes to minus 45x. That becomes plus 2. Okay, so I do my ABC. Okay. So A times C. 8 times 2. 16 positive, sum of 45. Well, this, you know, this isn't going to work right away because 1 and 16 doesn't add up to 45, so that's a fail. Okay. So we have to use our quadratic formula. Okay, so the opposite of the B is positive 45. Plus or minus the square root. Parentheses to the second, minus, and then you got 3 in a row. Okay, so B is negative 45, and you have 4, and then A is 8, and C is 2. Remember, your ABC is now from here. Then on bottom, you have the product of 2 and whatever A is, which is 8. Well, you know 2 times 8 is 16. Okay. All right, so I need to figure out this square root here, okay? So I go second square root. You want to double the parentheses, and you got negative 45. Close it, and that's to the second power. And then a subtraction operator, and then 4, 8, and 2. 44.3, okay? I don't really care how it's rounded. Just put 44.3 on top of that. Now, you can do the rest of the problem. You take 45 plus 44.3 equals, divided by 16, and I got 5.58. Okay. Then 45 minus 44.3, divided by 16, 0.04. Now, they're both positive, so you want to pick the smaller answer, or the bigger answer, sorry, 5.58 seconds. Okay. And part D. Find the time it takes a ball to reach a height of 0 feet. So again, your units are feet and seconds. X is the seconds, Y is the feet, and then per feet per second. Now again, it's the same information, so 90 is your feet per second. Okay, it's a parabola. We're going to mark the number later. I need to write the equation for the parabola. And again, negative 16x to the second power plus 90x plus 6 equals y. Okay, 0 feet. It's down here. It doesn't really matter where you put it, but that's where 0 feet would be at. So we need to put 0 feet into the equation. Okay, it's feet. Feet is y. So you remove the y from the equation, replace it with 0. Negative 16x to the second plus 90x plus 6 equals 0. Okay, now I have to solve for x. It has two solutions because it's to the second power. And we have x squared and we have x. Okay, so we're going to have to we're not going to be able to just collect like terms. So I have the equation cleared on one side already, and there's 3 terms, 1, 2, 3. So I would find a GCF, and I would make my T chart. GCF, you do have a negative in front. You're always going to have that negative in front on a gravity problem. Okay, x does not belong to everything. 6 doesn't have one, so we don't factor out x. And 16, 90, and 2. Calculate. It's 2 again. So negative 2 is the greatest common factor. So we factor out a negative 2. We divide all of these by negative 2. So not only are these dividing by 2, their sign's going to change. So it's going to be positive 8x to the second minus 45x minus 3. Okay, so A, B, and C. So A times C. So 8 times negative 3, that would be 24 negative. So this would be a difference of 45. Well, right away, the first 2 factors of 24, that's too small to be a difference of 45, and it just keeps getting smaller, so that's a fail. Okay, so we go to our quadratic formula. Okay, so the opposite of the b is positive 45, plus or minus the square root, parentheses to the second, minus 3 parentheses in a row. Okay, so the b is negative 45, and then I have 4, a is 8, and c is negative 3. Then I have 2 times 8. Okay, I need to figure out what's in that square root, so I need to find second square root, double it, negative 45, second power that, minus 4, 8, negative 3. Okay, 46.46 is good enough. Okay, and you know 2 times 8 is 16. So I take 45 plus 46 equals, divided by 16, 5.68 or 69. And then 45 minus 46 divided by 16 is negative 0.06. Well, obviously the positive is bigger. That's the one I want to write down. 5.69 seconds. All right. Hopefully that made sense. You have to mark that number on the parabola. If it's seconds, it goes in for the x variable, and you just basically plug it into your calculator. But if it's feet, it goes in for the y variable, plug it in for y, and then solving for x is going to require a little bit more work on your part.